Here we go.
My name is Divested Witch, and tonight I want to talk about Cynthia G admitting that she still sleeps with black males. Now, I have a major problem with this because a lot of people look at Cynthia G as if she's some sort of queen or god of divestment. Well, she's not divested at all. Divested black women do not sleep with black males. They do not date black males. They do not marry black males. Cynthia G loves to take divested speaking points and then manipulate them in a way that suits her. A lot of black women love the ideal of divestment, but they don't want to put in any of the work that it takes to be divested. So let's listen.
I think that that's, in the case of Cynthia G, not completely true, because I do think that Cynthia G doesn't really appreciate divestment, and you can see that she doesn't like black women who interracially date. She said it herself that black women who divest are the same as SYSBM. That's Save Yourself Black Men. Basically, the black men who interracially date and divested women who interracially date she doesn't like. She doesn't appreciate interracial dating. And you can see this because look at what she calls white people. She calls them people of no color. She has issues with white people. And so that's why she has issues with black people who date white people, regardless of our sex. But yeah, continue.
To this live stream of her admitting that she's still sleeping with black males, even knowing everything that she knows about them.
And that's the main reason she will always stay with black men. One, because she hates white people, she hates white men. And then secondarily, because she also has this issue where she basically continues to worship black men no matter what they do. They can never do anything wrong, even though she claims they're doing something wrong. That's just her attention-seeking behavior. Anyway, continue.
I don't. I'm telling you as a woman, I don't. A man's dick doesn't move me an inch emotionally. It doesn't move me at all. So to me, it's nothing to me to look at a black man, and if I wanted, because people are saying, oh, well, it sounds like CMG still having sex with black. If I want to, I'm going to. But am I going to sit here and discuss my sex life with people on YouTube? No.
And that's what you call deflecting, okay?
I think it's not just deflecting, it's several layers to the situation. She's put herself in a space with people she judges negatively. And she makes money off of people she thinks negatively of. And so she doesn't want to expose herself on so many levels because it would backfire on her tremendously. And so that's why she has to not explain why she's continuing to be with black men, because if she did, she would be basically saying what she has an issue with black women who choose not to be with black men. And you can see this easily. It's thinly veiled for her. She doesn't like people who interracially date. It's very obvious, but for some reason people are too thick to realize it sometimes, it seems. And nothing against Divested Witch. I am not talking against Divested Witch. I love her video here. I liked her video. I'm subscribed to her channel. I'm a strong supporter of her. I've been a strong supporter of her since April when she first started out. So anyway, continue.
Because ain't nobody wants you to discuss your sex life, okay? But people do want you to discuss why you think it's okay to sleep with black males, and you're sitting here talking about divested speaking points.
Well, yeah, and because people want to know, because it's like you are marketing something you won't even do yourself. So how can anyone really believe you actually believe what you're saying? And you could tell she's not. She doesn't believe in what she's saying. She's spoken literally against divestment. You can tell that she does now because she attacks people who interracially date that are men. She just doesn't do it to women because they're paying her bills. So that's what her problem is. Anyway, continue.
You're telling other black women that they need to date outside their race, they need to explore their options and so forth, but yet you're not exploring your options. Okay? You're sitting here reading off statistics about how horrible Blackistan is and how horrible the men are to the women, but yet you want to go back there and choose from this group of men? Like, make it make sense.
But just know that
I don't think she really tells anyone to divest. I think she tells them select a breed, and she doesn't really want to tell them divest completely because she has her own issues with divestment. Continue, though.
And it's not just the black men. Whoever I want to have sex with,
she says whoever she wants to have sex with, but we know she's still just messing with black males because ain't no self-respecting white man gonna be messing with you if you're still sleeping with nakers. Point blank, period.
Do you see what she said and what she has said about white men in the past? Maybe you haven't been around as long as I have for 2 years on YouTube. If you look back in how she talks about white men, I don't think her views have changed. I think she just markets her views differently nowadays and leaves out certain things that she thinks and feels about people of other races, basically. But she still has the same racist views against white people as she did before. She's just hiding it because I think she's bitter and angry at some ex-black boyfriend she had in the past. Continue.
I will have sex with them. Sex is not spiritual.
Sex is very spiritual, so she's wrong about that. Every time you have sex, you're creating soul ties to that person. So if you think that you're going to be divested and still sleeping around with black males, you are never going to escape. You're always going to be black male identified. She's pretty...
Two things here. One, I don't think with the whole thing of sex that it's soul bonding or any connection in that regard. I don't. I think that people get connected when they have sex because of the structure of their sexuality. If your sexuality is mostly emotional, then you're going to connect with someone emotionally more when you have sex. I've seen this with men. People often think that men are more sexual and women are more emotional. I've experienced many times being a person who's very sexual and not very emotional, where men will conflate sex to some kind of emotion. And I'll be very turned off and uncomfortable because it's like, dude, all you're here for is to get me off and to get yourself off, and all I'm here to do is get me off and get you off. It's not anything about, trying to connect emotionally when you're trying to hook up. But a lot of people don't understand this when they have more emotional connections in their sexuality. If they're more romantic, and if you're more leaning in the aromantic side of things, your sexuality is based mainly in your sexuality and not in the romantic side of your sexuality. For me personally, I could honestly bond with anyone, male or female, in an emotional sense. But on a physical sense, the only one I have any interest in are men. So that's how you can tell my sexuality is in men, and that's basically it sexually. And I can bond with men too emotionally, but it's just like I said, it's not very strong. I don't even care for it too much. But the idea of coming together with someone is very nice. Spending time with someone you like is really good, So I'm not saying that that's a bad thing. What I'm saying is that, I do think that people can disconnect with sex. Some people can, and some people can't. And it's not based off gender, it's not based on just people in general being able to or not being able to or ignoring anything. I just think some people can. Now, on to the other thing I wanted to talk about, though, was the whole point with her saying about divesting while sleeping with men that are black. That's just weird to me. I mean, you can't do that, obviously, because How are you divested when they're literally in your life and they're inside of you? You're definitely not divested from black men when you are literally letting black men inside of you. That's literally the opposite. So, I mean, you can't do that. I definitely agree with divested witch there. Continue though.
Much the same women that she complains about in her videos. She's always accusing black women of being black male worshippers, but she's a black male worshiper herself. That's why she's not able to break away from Dusty BBC. Like, to me, it's like, it's a...
I also noticed that many of these type of people will think that the only way to not be black male worshiping is to be disgruntled, bitter, and angry that black men didn't pick you, basically. That's what it is at the end of the day. And their obsession and their anger and all their feelings are just the same as any other mammy who basically revolves around black men day in and day out. It's pretty sucky. But yeah, continue.
No-brainer for me. Like, I am not attracted to black males. I don't want them. I don't date them. I don't marry them. I don't have time for that dysfunction in my life. Okay? Point blank.
And that's the thing. It's like a lot of divested women who are not attracted to black men do not understand these women. We really don't. And many of the time they hate us for that. And they call us mammies and stuff because we don't understand their disgruntled anger and bitterness because black men aren't doing right by them or whatever, not finding the right father or not finding the right husband or whatever's going on over there, and it's just like, you have to understand, in the divested space, we're talking about not being attracted to black men because we just happen to not be attracted to black men. Just like black men sometimes aren't attracted to black women, It's normal for black people not to be attracted to each other because the majority of society isn't black. So, I mean, that's how I feel about that. It's just kind of like, these type of people get mad when you're not disgruntled and miserable with them because they have that mammy trauma banding characteristic going on there. But yeah, continue.
Period. But she's sitting here telling her subscribers that it's completely okay to mess with these males, these same males that she talks about in her videos all the time. Like, it really is hypocrisy at its finest.
Can it be spiritual? Yes. But it is not inherently spiritual. It's not. Y'all are making it spiritual. It's not spiritual.
It is spiritual, okay? That's why you cannot escape BBC. That's why you know all the terrible stats about the BBC and you're still sleeping with it. You know why? It's because that BBC has a spiritual tie connected to you, okay? When you have...
I think it's just that she's attracted to black men, and that's how it's going to be. And, I honestly, the way I feel about that whole situation is quite how I feel about Latino men, honestly. But the thing is, I don't just air the dirty laundry out to everybody and just start complaining and crying and acting like a disgruntled, angry mammy, basically. Don't. Like, if you find problems, if you find dusties, move along and choose better, Why are you getting mad at other people for being just functional when you should just be choosing better, I mean, your choices are up to you, no one else is to blame for your choices but you. Continue.
Sex with someone, you create a soul bond, all right? Little does she know this. That's why she's sitting here talking about sex has no spiritual connections.
But the women who think that they should stop having sex with black men, absolutely stop. If you think not having sex with black men is going to change something, stop. But for me, no. To me, sex is sex. To me, sex is the equivalent of eating when I'm hungry. Like, I'm getting hungry because I'm about to order me some food, but I'm not emotionally attached to the food. No.
And, I think this way of thinking is going to keep you single and alone for a very long time. because humans are not just only looking for sex. We're looking for love, we're looking for companionship, we're looking for that connection, okay? Meanwhile, you just out here looking for sex. Well, you know what I mean? That kind of limits you to the type of men that are going to be in your life.
Food is serving a purpose. The food.
Yeah, I mean, going about it that way, it almost seems like, well, then if you are only doing this for this group of men, and you're not opening your options, I guess this is why she's so angry, because she feels like she's stuck just looking for sex in black men because she doesn't feel like she's going to get anything else out of them. That's really bad, and I guess that's why she's miserable, single, and alone, because she feels like she's relegated to black men who she just looks for sex with. I feel like with her, though, honestly, I don't think she would do well with men outside of her race because I don't think she's physically attracted to them. You shouldn't choose men you're not attracted to. I don't care what it is. If it's their fat, their skin tone, their height, whatever it is. If you're not physically attracted to those men, I don't think you should be going after those type of men, So I don't see anything wrong with that. I think her outlook on black men is going to be a problem. If she's constantly thinking that they're bad, and that all she's going to get out of them is sex because she doesn't think they offer anything else, that's all she's going to get. And that's all the kind of men that she's going to get. And she's always going to be miserable. And she's always going to be bitter. And she's always going to be angry because she's expecting nothing out of her potential mate, basically. So she's never going to look for the actual right man for her. I personally don't think black men are anything that I would want to be with. But I'm saying this, since she is attracted to them, all she needs to do at this point is find a good man, in my opinion. But she's never going to find it if she's always looking negatively towards the men that are basically her option because she's not attracted to any other type of man. You get what I'm saying? So that's all I'm going to say here in this video. I'm going to do another part of this video, but yeah, thanks for watching, everyone. Like and subscribe, comment down below, and have a great day. Bye.